What if you were one of the thousands of parents who, after being shocked by what their woke public school was teaching, pulled your student into private school, and then you discovered those lesson plans were just as bad? You'd probably be furious. Meet Undercover Mothers, a group of volunteer mothers and fathers battling to save our schools. They're working to expose the far-left views being fed to private schools by the National Association of Independent Schools, a group that helps oversee a network of private schools and their accreditors. Under pressure from the association, thousands of schools across the country are adopting diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, curricula. Far from promoting fairness, the DEI agenda teaches racism, hateful identity politics, and sexualization to children in grade school. It's a campaign to crush free thinking and rewrite history, all while encouraging children to judge each other not by the content of their character, but by the color of their skin. That's the opposite of what Martin Luther King Jr. taught his children and his fellow Americans. The parents fighting this racial indoctrination are genuinely diverse. Undercover Mothers is so inclusive it has parents with diverse party affiliations and political leanings. One of its founders, a self-described liberal, rebelled when the head of her child's school gave a 20-minute lecture to students on how to use social justice to counter their privilege, as if the students' own families were harming America every day. Other parents were shocked to learn the National Association of Independent Schools website pushes a curriculum for early grade schoolers that, in the association's words, explicitly affirms racial identity is essential for students of color when they're at school with white kids. Otherwise, they'll lack a sense of belonging. In Georgia, one parent recalled her kid's school chapel inviting unconventional guest speakers to work with students, including an anti-Semitic poet. The school kept a list of insubordinate parents who protested because private schools quickly used the threat of expulsion to silence parents or ignore their concerns. One anonymous Midwest parent objected that kids were taught that all civilizations had slaves, but America was by far the worst. This kind of trashing of America and Americans has real consequences. In a June 2020 Gallup poll, only 63% of U.S. adults said they were extremely proud or very proud to be American. That's the lowest number since Gallup began asking the question 2 decades ago. Clearly, children have been indoctrinated with critical race theory and other teachings from the cultural versions of socialism far longer than the parents who now flood school board meetings realize. Reporters from Real Clear Investigations suggest that despite teachers' unions' denial that critical race theory has ever been taught, it may have been part of some schools' curriculum as far back as 2001. What's the lesson? Parents, you should recognize your kids aren't safe from extreme anti-American ideas, whatever kind of school they attend. You need to resist and with constant diligence monitor what your children are learning. You can take a cue from the groups like Undercover Mothers.